Alright. Hello, Mudada tutorial. Nice, 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 nice. I'm gonna hit a couple of these just for like examples, and then I'm gonna go into the gist of my setup for your knowledge purposes. This strat is really hard. Just a warning. And it doesn't save a lot of time. But I think it's a good one to know in your toolbox for like high level running. And it's cool, it's fun to hit quirky strats sometimes, you know? But this is the kind of strat you really only more want to do if you are kind of desperate for just a tiny bit of time save on a run. And maybe you're doing Dreamweavers a little bit later. Oh, thank you, game. My jump got 8. Alright, let's give it one more. Okay, fair enough. Alright, so the gist of my setup here is like, I'm using these 2 gems across this gap. It's kind of like general guidelines that I want to start my glide going about like between them. Some days I like aiming more towards this, like directly towards this left one. Some days I like aiming a bit more like in the middle. And then I am in the middle of my glide, like aiming to, when I land, that I am collecting this gem, moving it, and then moving directly to like, I want to take a straight line path that collects this gem, goes into Mudada, and then charge glides off of the top of his hitbox. And also I'm jumping at that middle gem, like right after I collect it. It's a very good like jump point. And as you can see, it like, it's not like the most consistent thing in the world. I've had like really good streaks of it. It's a very like hot and cold kind of strat. But it does like, it can have some consistency. Depends on the kind of day you're having very much though. And also like, I am completely not even following my own setup here. Like all the ones I'm missing, I'm not following my own setup very well. That one I lost all my momentum because I jumped late. But yeah, this strat saves about 2.5 seconds. I think like saves about 2.5, and then you can save an extra half second with this alternate Turkeyvator method I'll try to show off here in just a sec. But yeah, it's there we go. You can also, when you're desperate, and also when you want to hit a really good sum of best, do a Turkeyvator from this spot. And it works good. I'm just gonna go straight into that Turkeyvator lineup. No. Because, like, I think you kind of get the gist here. Oh, one other thing I do want to mention is, if you're struggling, you should note that the highest point of his hitbox that you want to flop off of is not the highest point of his model. It is directly in the center. Like, from my understanding of like how his hitbox feels to flop off of, his hitbox is kind of like a dome, and the top of his wings like peek out of his hitbox. But you want to like go directly off the center. Also, this strat, as long as you don't free Mudada which sounds like it's something that would happen a lot, but it doesn't always when you fail the strat. Like, if you land like there, you can still recover, and that recovery only loses like 2 seconds or something. So it's not too bad to go for. That time I took too narrow of an angle. There we go. Yeah, if I'm like paying good attention and like following my setup good, it's like I'm getting decent consistency here. Alright, so the oh, this is actually a bad save state. Let's set a different save state. But yeah, I want to give you a rundown of the Shroomless Turkeyvator, which is a slightly faster Turkeyvator lineup, but it's a lot harder. You are, I call it shroomless because it completely is out of the way of like mushrooms RNG. But the trade-off here is that the timing and positioning are a lot tighter than they are for the standard Turkeyvator. But basically, you want to be two, like, I don't know, octagon portions. You know, like how this is like not really a circle. You want to be like 2 segments off of the normal Turkeyvator spot. And then, because the turkeys just kind of like float higher in the air at this point, the timing of your jump is a lot more precise. I try to get the camera to time it. I try to get the camera, perpendicular. And that's another reason why I find it kind of harder, is like the only way I found to like get a cue that works nicely for me all the time is, that you have to use the camera buttons, which kind of uses a lot of brain power. But I try to get the camera like perpendicular to the segment I'm standing on, and then basically just as like the turkey's full head is on my screen, I'm doing my jump. And yeah, this saves about a half a second over a standard Turkeyvator. Which can be really useful to because you're like taking a shorter path and you can go like straight there basically. Something else I do want to note in general about Turkeyvator is that not a lot of people know. I guess it's a little counterintuitive that I'm like talking about the easiest strat at the end of the video. Normally I like go easiest to hardest with like my tutorials, but something that not a lot of people know about Turkeyvator is if you are struggling to get your Turkeyvator lined up in time for like any like kind of lineup method. Let's set a save state here. You can use camera manip to, so like that, because I'm pointing my camera at the island. Normally it makes, I think I actually have unfortunately loaded the turkeys by setting my save state there. So like I'm off a normal cycle, but like you'll kind of get the gist. But yeah, you can point while you're going across this gap. You can load the turkeys in earlier by pointing your camera at the island to get generally a like a faster lineup, which can like save you an extra like couple tenths, like an extra half a second if you're greed maxing. And I'd imagine, I haven't tried this in my current gold, but I'd imagine you can combine that with the faster turkey method I just talked about. And then conversely, if you're having a hard time, you can do the opposite. You can move the camera away from the island to load the turkeys in later. And then you can kind of take your sweet ass time getting set up on that, the middle of that segment for your, and like killing the shrooms and stuff. Just like sitting up. If you don't, if you've somehow got to this point in the video and you don't know regular Turkeyvator, I'm sorry that I didn't talk about that first. I'm a little bozo-brained. But, yeah, you basically just want to stand in the middle of that segment that's, like, directly in front of you when you're running at the island. It is, to be extra precise from this, please leave. From this, like, box, like, from the corner of this box, you're 1, 2, 3. So, and then you want to stand, like, right in the middle and jump. And then the faster method is also right in the middle, but it's a bit more precise. And you usually want to err on being more inboard than outboard on this lineup. And then on this one, you want to err on being more like... I think you also want to err on being more inboard. But yeah, that's the gist of it. Good luck. Lofty Legend. Turkey Terrorizer. Peace.